What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the hoetohusband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry DeRon. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bobo. What's good, man?
Not much, man. Looking forward as always to chopping up with you fellas. But before we get into, want to give a quick shout out to my girl Deidre and Brandon for your donations. Shout out to y'all, salute to y'all. Also want to remind you can catch us on TikTok and YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. And for those interested in promos or a shout out, you can shoot us a DM at Hold Husband Podcast, as well as email us at holdhusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's good, man?
Nothing, man. A little tired, but I'm here. And I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Single in Miami. And we wanted to have a conversation about how your location plays a big role in your dating experiences, especially for men. So we'll be discussing that a little bit later, but y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen go viral or things that we've seen on our timelines. And this first video is something that I just thought would be really, really helpful because it points out a problem that men experience or deal with so much. It was a post I saw by from Michael Sartain where he was talking about communication with women. Let's take a look.
This is a rule for two people in a relationship, and I generally find that women break this rule more than men. You can ask me how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel. Mm-hmm. That is a huge issue that I see where women are like, you don't like me because you looked at this. No, stop. You can ask me how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel. If you do that, you understand the boundaries of the relationship, right? And you're both pulling in the same direction. That's what I need. What I need from a partner, I need peace. I need her to pull in the same direction, and I need her to understand what the boundaries are.
Yeah, man. The way he broke it down, or illustrated it, is really clear because I deal with this constantly on social media. Women trying to tell me what I think and feel, even though I'm very good at expressing what I think and feel. You know what I mean? Like I have multiple platforms where I give my thoughts and feelings on various topics, and it's frustrating from a male perspective to constantly deal with that. So I can definitely see why. That's a ground rule for a functional relationship.
Yeah, I think every man done dealt with this before, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know a man that haven't, man, where a woman will take her feelings, internalize it, or personalize what you just said and completely turn around everything you just said to tell you what you mean, even though you just told her clearly what you mean. Like, she'll take it a completely different way. Like, you'll say, yeah, baby, you know what? This food, it could use a little more salt. Oh, you don't like my cooking? You must don't like it then. No, that ain't what I said. I didn't say I don't like it. It just need a little more salt or something in it. No, you don't like it. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna cook you nothing else. And you sit there like, what in the world just happened here? Like, women had that bad because their feelings rule them so much. Pretty much all women are like that. They operate off of feelings, and if they feelings say that you meant it this way, it don't matter what you say. It don't matter what the facts say a lot of times, and that's really frustrating for men, like you said. Jay, what you think about that?
I think what it is, they want you to kind of more or less validate what their disposition already was. So, you saying this is what it is, you explain it, you articulate it, and it's almost like they're trying to bully you to think whatever they believe or whatever their feelings are. Like yours just don't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, or they associate something negative with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you state out a criticism. Oh, you hate women. Oh, you're misogynist. And it's like, whoa. I don't get that same energy when I criticize something a man does. You know what I mean? Like, or when I break down a situation and a man is at fault.
Right. And T, you do a great on your page. You do a good job because you in your captions you put context behind it, and I think context is everything. You articulate it. I mean, you can't explain any better than what you do on your post, and people will still find something wrong with it, no matter which way you explain it, no matter which way you turn it.
A lot of them I don't think read it. I don't think a lot of the women read it.
You're probably right.
Real. You know what, man? But to be honest, and I could tell you, man, just for how I feel personally, especially now with being on social media and so active on social media, I just don't think a lot of women really care how men feel enough to really learn and
I agree.
pay attention to how men feel. So because they don't care, a lot of them, how men feel, they come up with their own idea of how men feel instead of listening to us about it. Go ahead.
That's the is I think society has kind of shaped women this way, where they're taught that only your feelings and your thoughts matter. Think about how long men's voices has been shunned.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? What's crazy is they always asking men to express themselves. This is the crazy part. Like, they why he don't talk to me, or men should be more open and more free with their feelings and talk and this and that. And then when we actually do it, they take it and completely turn around and dismiss what you actually said, tell you what they think you meant, and then operate off of what they thought you meant. And you sitting there confused, like, what in the world is going on here? And a lot of times, this is why I say women train men to lie to them. A lot of women don't want to hear that. Women train men to lie to them based off of how they respond when men actually tell them something. When we tell them something, a lot of times they do this very thing. They dismiss what we actually told them and then come up with their own idea of what we said by saying, so basically what you meant, and completely turn everything around. And we sitting there like, what in the world just happened? Now we thinking we wrong.
But most guys can't handle it in real time. Like when something happened and you already pissed off or you already arguing, and then you making a point about why you mad or what the problem is, and she flipped everything that you said. Like, man, most guys will stop trying at some point. And that's why, they say that guys don't open up and don't talk and all that. But then again, a lot of guys just don't have the skill set to be able to do it. You know what I mean?
You know what?
No.
Go ahead.
You know what? Like when a guy opens up, maybe be uncomfortably vulnerable, express how he feels. A lot of times that gets weaponized against him. So that's another reason why we just won't come out there and be open.
Absolutely. You're right. And like I was saying, like, women train men to lie to them because a lot of times when we tell them the truth, it's met with attitude, silent treatment, no sex. And then if we lie and they found out we lied, we get the same attitude, we get the same silence, and we get no sex. It's the exact same consequence. So because of that, most men take the easy route and say, you know what? I just don't want to hear her mouth. I don't want to be bothered. I'm not going to tell her she looks robust in that dress. I'm not going to tell her her food ain't the best. I'm going to lie about it so I can avoid the attitude, the silent treatment, and the no sex that she's going to punish me.
But you know what's crazy though? When women criticize men, it can come with no filter. Like, you just got to hear it in the most harsh, hurtful way possible, and just be able to deal with it. But I think that's part of what we learned growing up as being guys, to the guys that are actually prepared for that by being among other guys, roasting each other, dealing with embarrassment in front of friends and all that type of stuff. Like, you might be gotten rejected by your crush, but you've been to get roasted about it all summer. You know what I'm saying? Like, men constantly have to live in this like all Madden mode where everything that they experience is to the maximum. You know what I mean? Like the threats they face, the embarrassment, or the way that they have to open up themselves when it comes to dating. But it's easy to do, especially if you're willing to tell women what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a tough job, but somebody got to do it. You know what I mean? You got to tell them the truth out here, man. And that's why a lot of women out here in the dating world is so delusional, because nobody really sits women down and tell them the truth. So by the time they get up in their 30s and all of that stuff, men never really told them the truth because they was just trying to have sex with them. And they can't really take the truth once a solid quality man that's a little older start telling them, your attitude is horrible, sweetheart. Your behavior is probably not going to get you wife. It's met with insults and shame because they don't know how to take that and internalize it and say, maybe I am doing something that's wrong, and that's why I keep getting guys that want to give me dick. Like, they ain't thinking about it that way.
Yeah. But Steve, real quickly, that's how the panders out here making it. That's how it became basically a profit center and a $1 million business.
Oh, you know what video I wish we would have been able to find for the trending topics. What's the dude that was married to Megan Good? The pastor.
Devin
dude.
Franklin. Where he just told them,
a woman, like the Eve was born whole, like.
Man, cut it out. If you can't see through that bull, I don't know. He said, and God told her she didn't need anybody for anything. Fool, God made her for a man. What do you mean to be a helper to a man? And he telling them this, and they running with it. Yes, like these dudes out here, man, ain't nothing but pimps. That's all they are.
But you know what? What's the difference between Devon Franklin, him being, him as a preacher, and the rest of these panders? They sound exactly the same. The pimp preacher in the church.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
same thing.
Whenever the John Grays, all these dudes that pander to women and rap it in religion, it's always it irks me because they're like putting God's cosign on it. You know what I mean? Like, because even though the stuff that they telling these women is BS, when they try it and it don't work, it's the devil's fault. You know what I'm saying? Or it's the man's fault. Yeah, or the man. And it never puts none of the accountability on them. Like, the fact that a woman just comes whole or comes fixed is totally ludicrous when we see the mentalities that a lot of women have. When we see the inability for women to actually compromise and create relationships that are, or environments that are conducive for relationship success. We see these toxic female mentalities that they have and this perception of men that they have. So it's just stuff like that where it's like, unfortunately, those are always going to be the dudes that get the biggest platform and the biggest support from women.
Yeah, they never tell them about their body count, though. They never talk about being virgins no more, do they? They don't bring that part up in the Bible, do they? About saving yourself and all that, because these here chicks got miles on that thing. So he can't talk about it. So that's what it is, man.
All right, now let's keep things rolling, man. This next video is a video of somebody I've been liking for a while. Her name is OG Nunu. She has a podcast where she was talking about talking to women from a woman about how a lot of women really aren't equipped for these type of six-figure, high-value men that they claim that they'll only date. Let's take a listen.
Most of us couldn't even handle a nigga with six figures, a nigga with anything over what we used to dealing with. We don't even know how to talk to a nigga with six figures. You used to talking to a nigga like trash, used to, taking shit back. You used to being able to kind a nigga with your pussy, because it's good. But when a nigga don't need you, when pussy don't excite him, number one, and he know his work, don't have to put up with the shit you coming with, and got choices, got a line of bitches that he could choose from, that shit don't fly. You gotta adjust, or you can go and find the same type of nigga that you used to dealing with your toxic ass. Most of us couldn't even handle a nigga with six figures, a nigga with anything over what we used to dealing with. We don't even know how to talk to a nigga with six figures. You used to talking to a nigga like trash, used to, taking shit back. You used to being able to kind a nigga with your pussy, because it's good. But when a nigga don't need you, when pussy don't excite him, number one, and he know his work don't have to put up with the shit you coming with, and got choices, got a line of bitches that he could choose from. That shit don't fly. You gotta adjust, or you can go and find the same type of nigga that you used to dealing with your toxic ass.
Oh, now one thing I love about OG is she's very blunt and to the point. And you know what's ironic? I've never seen a woman complain about her tone, delivery, or her word choice. But what she's saying in this video is very, very accurate. You know, the guys that women actually want, the guys that are in the salary range and have the looks and have the personality and all that, they're going to be less tolerant of the things that I talk about on my platform. They don't have to deal with it. It's hard enough when you're a guy that's dealing with multiple women. It can be very difficult to select between multiple women if you're trying to settle down with one.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to choose over something superficial. One's ass is bigger than the others. Other than that, they was the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be stuff like that where it's not necessarily fair, but he had to find some type of way to differentiate. So I think women would be wise to pay attention to what she said.
Yeah, she's right about, a lot of women don't know how to deal with that type of man, because, I see it out here all the time. Every woman thinks that they deserve that type of man. And when that type of man, even though that man is so elusive to them, most of them ain't never really dealt with a dude that's making over six figures. Most of them. But this is what they all striving for. But what they don't understand, a lot of women, is that the more money a man makes, the more he's going to critique you, your attitude, your shape, your look, your behavior, how your work ethic. They gonna critique everything about you because they can. They have the pick. And she said, the coochie don't excite them no more. No, it excites us, but we know how to control that to where we just ain't gonna be out here just running around giving in to you and giving you everything you want just because you got one. No, we've been there and we done that.
And it's easy to get. It's easy to get. It's not like this dude's gonna be struggling to get sex.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And they know this. But all of these women think that they are special. They think they special, even though they out of shape and obese like the other 70% of women. That's not special. Even though they attitudes, behavior, the way they dress, the way they post on social media is like the rest of the hoes. That's not special. That man is special. His money makes him special. Already off bat, because only 10 to 12% of men make that type of money. So that makes them special. Then they want a man that's emotionally intelligent. Then they want one that looks good. Then they want one that's going to be fair, compromising, and a good leader. Sweetheart, that man is a unicorn out here. And guess what he want? Guess what he want in a woman? He want a special woman, not a woman that's running around here looking, behaving, and thinking like the rest of the women out here. But they don't get that. They don't understand that. That's why they keep getting the same thing they've been getting, dick and chicken wings, because that's all so many of them are worth now, especially with the boom in whore culture and telling them, hey, do whatever you want to do. Run the streets. Be a hoe in your 20s.
Hot girl summer.
That's what I'm saying. But a man that's got his money together, he don't want to be bothered with a hoe later on, like with his last name. Absolutely not. And they don't understand it. They don't want to accept it because they don't accept that for men. They like men that are hoe. And they want to force men to do the same thing to them, and we just won't.
What?
Right.
Yep. I mean, I think a lot of people feel like they deserve this six-figure dude, and bottom line is a lot of them don't. And like she said, a lot of them are not ready. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
The dude's willing to jump in the bed with you, but
absolutely,
do they like you past the bedroom? I think women are confusing the bedroom for him actually wanting her. Right. And
it really just shows the flaw in the way that women evaluate men. because they place so much significance on a man's money or the perception of a man having money that it gives fuck boys all the fuel that they need to be able to get over on with it, right? Because the flip side of wanting that man that has the money, he has everything. Money puts a man in a position to improve almost every aspect of his dating profile, right? From the cologne, the clothes, the workout, the personal trainer, like a man can almost fix just about anything that would make him undesirable to women if he has money. And so that increases the amount of competition and the unlikeliness that a woman's actually going to end up with that type of guy.
Yeah, but they don't get it, man. And I think a lot of it too is because, like Jay said, they can still have sex with those dudes.
Pound town in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, like he'll still do it. He'll still knock her down, but he'll never wife her or take her serious. So it kind of warps their mind, man, once they get out here and actually start dating, because they feel like, well, I was able to have sex with this dude, and that's where my range is. When they range is not really there. All you got was a wet back out of it, sweetheart. That's your range out of it.
But so they look at it like when they dealing with a rich dude and he stay with him and he took him shopping and he spent a couple $1,000 on a purse and he bought him some things like that. That is very, very minuscule to a man that has a guy like that.
Yeah.
Right. That is very, very small to a guy that's making millions of dollars or several $100,000 a year. But they treat it like it is a big deal. Like it equates to the same thing, and it doesn't. If you talk to a dude that spends $20,000, $30,000 every time he's with his partners kicking it, spending $8,000 with you wasn't anything to him. But
yeah, like that ain't the average thing. But I do want to say this though, because I know Kevin Samuels kind of coined this high value thing based off of a man's money, and to me personally, that's not what makes a man a high value man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be a $70,000 earner out here, guys, and be a high value man because you got integrity. You carry yourself a certain way. It's certain things that you won't do out here as a man. You got morals for yourself. You handle your business. You take care of your kids. You know what I'm saying? You got your financial, your life in order, your living space in order, how you deal with people, how you respect people, and how you respect yourself. Those types of things is what make you a high value man, not just your pocketbook. I see a lot of people talking about, high value men and then talking about $100,000. Well, I know some $100,000 dudes that ain't worth a dime.
Trash.
You know what I'm saying? Because of how they treat people, because of how they treat, themselves. Like, they just not that guy. They don't have no integrity, no morals. And I was that guy years ago in my 20s where I really didn't care about nobody but myself. And so you got a lot of dudes out here like that, and they think they high value men just because they make the money.
They salary.
And that's just not the case. So y'all need to be looking more for these here other men too, because there's some great dudes that's making $70,000, $80,000.
But a lot of them won't, because we already know, like, once the woman is at a certain salary, she only views the men at her level and up. So a lot of times that guy that's in the club that's 26 or 28 or whatever, that's making 60, 70K, that is going to be making 100 and something K when he's in his 30s and 40s, women will shun him for the opportunities with the dude getting the bag or selling dope or scamming or doing something like that. So they don't want to get on at the ground floor and build with a guy to where he's able to afford that kind of lifestyle they envision. But they want a guy that's already making it.
That's their fault, because 70,000 ain't the ground floor. That's about, you know what I'm saying? That's not the ground floor. Yeah, you at like floor 5 out of 10. But they don't treat, you know what I'm saying? If you want a guy that's making 100,000, he's not on the ground floor. But you're right. They do look down on men that's not making what they make, but they gotta understand, men are judged based off their money, not women. Not women. It's your looks and your shape to men. So you might make 100,000, but your looks and your body say you deserve a dude that make 45. That's the truth. That's the truth, because the guy that make 100,000, again, he's gonna be more strict on what he wants from a woman because he has the pick of the litter. So therefore, you have to be real with who you are.
Not all of them. There are a bunch of guys that are lame.
There are exceptions.
Yeah,
there's exceptions to every rule, but they don't like them lame dudes. Come on now, let's be real. Let's be real. Right. They don't like them lame dudes. And if a dude do make really nice money and he wants a woman that's more on the bigger side, a lot of times he's on the bigger side too. In more cases than not. No, we talking about a guy that's got good money out here. A lot of times, if he want a bigger woman, he's a bigger man. So they have to be realistic with who they are, and it just ain't enough of these men to go around with 70% of our women obese or overweight, and only 10% of all men making over 100,000. Where they gonna get these men from? The 70%. Where they gonna share?
They gonna share.
Exactly.
Yeah. Come on, man.
And me, that don't even account for the type of guys that I think guys that are in that bracket where they just getting all these type of women, they're less likely to actually want to settle down. Like what they're experiencing and seeing in women makes them less likely to ever put or risk their wealth or their money to get married and have a family. Like if they slip up and get somebody pregnant, all right, cool. I'll shoot you a couple of racks a month and take care of my child. But that's it. You know what I mean? Like I think that's where a lot of guys are at with it.
You ain't even got to slip up to get nobody pregnant, man, to lose half your wealth. These chicks leaving because they feel different the next day. In these marriages, they wanted more. They wanted somebody else. What you gonna do? If she decides she want another dude, she just leave and get your money in the process. Like it's tough for a guy that's actually got money out here to really step into those shoes because he got so much to lose. That's why men that have nice money are so picky with the women that they choose to be with, because he's got the most to lose. And the more a man got to lose, the more patient and the more picky he's going to be. And he should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Look like we up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be getting into our topic of the night, single in Miami, a discussion about how your location impacts your dating experiences for men and women. Y'all are tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. We have our guests on for tonight. We got my man Randall Scott on in the building. What's good, bro?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
No problem. Oh, man, it's all good, man. I definitely wanted to chop it up with you a little bit more. Before we get into the conversation, man, can you let our viewers know a little bit about you, your background, where you from, etc., so they can see where you're coming from?
Okay, I mean, again, my name is Randall Scott. I'm from Washington, D.C. Born and raised in the DMV area. I grew up in Sea Pleasant, Maryland, which is right across the line. I've always been an athlete, so I've been a three-sport athlete since I was a kid. Played basketball all the way through college, which ultimately led me into fitness, So I do everything with fitness as far as lifestyle management, personal training, sports, and athleticism, enhancement, whatever you need. So that's pretty much it, especially with the mental fitness side too. Can't forget that. Mindset is everything.
All right, that's what's up, man. So I got the opportunity to meet you a couple of weeks ago. We both participated in a relationship panel in Houston at the Women in Wine weekend. So I wanted to talk to you about living in Miami and your experience on Ready to Love Miami. So the first thing that I want to ask you, when did you move to Miami, and then how did that impact your dating situation?
I moved to Miami 2 years ago. How did it impact? The biggest impact was like leaving my current situation or the people that I was dealing with in Washington D.C. and just like maybe like still being in contact with them when I moved to Miami, when everybody knows Miami's reputation, right? So like that already was starting some turmoil right there. So like that was the biggest impact, like trying to figure out how to adjust and how to let go.
Mm.
Was it hard to like navigate and adjust to life in Miami? Because I know, Miami and DC are two different worlds there.
It's definitely two different lifestyles for sure, bro. Like you hit it right on the nail, but it was actually seamless. I always felt like my lifestyle. I'm sorry, Samsung is listening to me. But my lifestyle basically fit right into the mode there. It was almost like I'm more so built to be in Miami than I am in DC.
What do you mean?
Well, I've always been an athlete, like I just mentioned that. And like when I say that, I don't say it as a selling point. Like I really live that way. Like I get up at 4 a.m. I start my day in the gym. I like to go outside and run. I like to ride bikes. I still play sports as I did when I was a kid. And Miami has the weather that supports that. And you're also around people who do that all of the time. So it's like, there's no way that you fall off looking at somebody else, right? And then I felt like I was in shape in DC, and then I got to Miami. It was like, maybe I should put my shirt back on. You get what I'm saying? So like, being down there kind of took me to another level, right? So like, that's what I really mean about that.
Yeah, I love Miami, man. I've been to Miami, man, probably 10 times. And I haven't been in a few years, man, because it became a little too much for me. But I love that city. It's just a smorgasbord of women down in Miami that I love. 100%. But how did you end up on the show? You say Ready to Love Miami?
Yeah, Ready to Love. I say it's a blessing, really, especially now. But when it just fell in my lap. To be totally honest with you, I've always said this, that I am a low key guy or was. Right, I pretty much played the back. Right, I come in quietly, silent assassin, like that mode, and they reached out to me, and I did everything in my power to like not do it. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people. Luckily, I got a good circle, who like talked me into like, this is huge. Like you get to talk to women, get acclimated to the city, and gain a little exposure on top of it. So it was a blessing.
Yeah. Now, when I watch Ready to Love, I like it. I like it because it creates kind of like a competition vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like among the guys. So that's something that I've always, I'm a former host, so I've always taken pride in. I hit first, you know what I'm saying? Like I was able to get shows or whatnot. What was the vibe like being on a reality show where like your conversations are recorded and all that kind of like, how does that change the dynamic of normal dating?
It was nerve wracking at first. I mean, walking into a room, like I'm gonna be honest, like the very first episode, it took 15 hours for us to shoot. Wow. So like that alone, to think about it's 10 women gonna be there, 10 guys, 10 women, like that alone is nerve wracking. Like you don't want to make any mistake. I remember getting out the Suburban, the SUV, coming around to the mansion, like, yo, please do not fall. Like, don't fall. I'm trying to walk through. Yeah, I'm like, this is live. Like, I remember being in college, my coach used to always tell me, like, it's 2 ways to get on Sports Center. Like, don't forget that, right? And I don't want to be the guy that just trips up in the hallway. So I tried to plan it. Like, okay, I'm gonna walk out real smooth. I'm gonna go grab this champagne and sit down at the table. Soon as I walk out, I grab apple cider, so I'm already fucking up, right? But it was just nerve wracking that first day, and I think after maybe 45 minutes after I entered the show, everything calmed down. You forget that the cameras are there. You just get comfortable just interacting with people, and I'm a people
start
person,
mingling.
Yeah, it's easy at that point,
Yeah.
How has being on that show? How's it impacted your dating life after the fact?
Sitting down with people sometimes, like, they bring up the show immediately. I've had someone tell me, like, you made a living off of dating women. So how do I know I can take you seriously? Like, it all depends. Like, first of all, I didn't realize how big the show was until after I did it. You get what I'm saying? So like, in some instances, it raises a flag. It's like, how do I know you serious? And then other instances, it's like, okay, you got status. Oh, you on TV? Like, I get that. I've literally, because I try to play it quiet, and I've literally went to a black tie event, right? Went to a black tie event, just being myself, chilling with my man. I'm in a line with this girl. We talking, me, her, and my man. And then people just start, calling me by my name or the nicknames and talking to me. And then she was like, who are you? Like, I'm like, I mean, like, I was in class with you. You just don't remember,
So it's like, do you go to a grocery store and you get recognized? Hey, aren't you the guy from reality TV shows? Does that happen often?
Yeah, but they call me by your name, like Randall, like that. Like, hey, Randall. And sometimes I think it's somebody that I like. Oh man, I don't know who this is. It's somebody I know from.
You dealt with.
Yeah, like, and they really don't know. And it took me some time to get used to that. Luckily, like, being in Miami, they don't really care so much about that stuff. Like, you'll see Will Smith running up the street by himself in Brickell on any given day, right? But like, going to the grocery store in Miami, you would have random pockets where people would like just call my name out and stuff like that. When I came back home and I went to DC, different. Like, I'm talking about walking into the club, people taking pictures with you. Like, man, I hated you on the show. Let me call my best friend. It's crazy. Like, FaceTiming people live, I'm waving. Like, this is awkward. Like, you FaceTime somebody just for me to smile in the camera. So, yeah, for sure, bro.
So when let me ask you this real quick. Like, so what difference have you noticed between the Miami women and the DC or DMV area women? Is there a difference there that you've noticed?
I mean, yes. Like the DMV, let me say that, because, like, I've always had a hard time saying DMV, but let me go ahead and do that. That dating scene is like totally different. There's a lot of professionals here in DC. Like, everybody is professional. Like, you might go to the grocery store and see people walking around in suits, pencil skirts, or whatever. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna put it on just to go to the grocery store, CVS, wherever you want to go. But when you go, when you sit down, it's like a job interview. Like some of the first questions,
like, just on a date,
they're gonna ask you. Yeah, on a date, they're gonna ask you what you do. That's one of the first questions that's going to come out. Like what do you do for a living? Like, that's definitely gonna come out in DC. Like, no matter who you talking to, if you dating or you out just at a friendly event, like, that is gonna come out like very early. So that's one of the major differences, in my opinion. I know Miami get like a bad a reputation with that that pretentiousness or whatever, but like, I feel like I get a little more of what do you do in DC opposed to in Miami.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. People in Miami want to have fun. They like you. I like you. You got a good vibe. Let's just have fun. See where it goes from there. Like, immediately. DC is almost like it's structured.
I guess that's true, because when we got to Miami, we rented scooters, and I rented a scooter for like $10 a day, and I had just as many women as the dude that rented a Rolls Royce.
100%.
So
you don't gotta do all that.
Yeah, you really don't. Not in Miami. If you got the vibe, the energy, and the persona that women like, then it's pretty easy.
See, I would have thought that the whole club scene in Miami, all the ballers, all the dudes coming down there spending money.
Yeah.
I would have thought that would change the way women approach men in Miami.
Well, if you go there, if you go to that scene, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You also gotta know where you at. So if you go into that scene, they gonna be on that type of time. They're gonna be looking for you to spend the bag, but that's your fault at that point. Like, you don't have to go to the club to look for women. I tell people that all the time. Like, where do you meet women? CVS. Walking down the street, like the gym. Like, there's a lot of different places that you can meet women, or for them meet men. You know what I'm saying? But when you in the club, everybody's gonna be on a different type of time. Don't be surprised.
I learned that the hard way in Miami at Story. We paid $500 a piece to get in for a
Yeah.
section. Yeah, but we got a section, right?
Okay.
Then Lil Wayne, Diddy, Mayweather, Jamie Foxx came in, and we were invisible in the place. All the women just left, and it was just dudes around. I'm like, man, what's going on? Well, Lil Wayne was on the stage with all these here other dudes, and they wasn't paying us no attention. I wasted $500 at Story in Miami. So it's a different thing. Like, you go to the club, that's what they gonna be on. They ain't looking for you really like that in there.
Nah, you got the
So-
you gonna do that. Yeah, go ahead.
So when it comes to women, what are some of the characteristics or the things that you've noticed that you can tell that or that will help you decide to go from casually dating a woman to taking things more serious?
With me, it's the mindset. Like, I mean, as men, we all are like attracted by the book's cover, right? Like how she looks, how she smells, and all of that stuff. Like, but with me, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody, right? So if I sit down with you and then we having a conversation and I realize that I'm carrying it, like there's no mental stimulation here whatsoever. Like I am over it. Like I don't need to like carry. I don't have, like I said, I'm not gonna walk around with you just so like, dang, Randall, get all that. Nah, I don't need that. Like so that's really it with me. Mindset. I love ambitious women. Like I always say, I'm driven by driven women, right? And I'm typically looking for like an iron sharpens iron type thing. Like if we want to continue to go further, right? But if that's not there, then it's like, all right, well, are we gonna have fun, or if this is just gonna be it,
Yeah. I always tell women that too, man. Like your mindset is so important when you're dealing with a different caliber man. Now, when you just dealing with a dude that's just out here running around, running through him, he don't care about your mindset at all. He don't care about your behavior. He don't care what you're doing out here. But if you run around talking about you a city girl and you can dress how you want and do what you want because you ain't locked down to nobody, a man that's really serious and got his life together, he ain't really going to be bothered with you because your mindset ain't in the place that it need to be for a woman that he wants to take serious. And a lot of women just don't understand that. They think they can do, think, and behave however they want to. And a man should be glad to have them showing up like that, and that's just not the case.
But I mean, what dude wouldn't care about the woman that's like the two most important things, like from a male perspective: giving a woman your last name or a woman that has your child. Now, obviously, we live in a culture where a lot of guys have children with women that they're not married to or don't be with long term. But she's still a reflection of your choices and your decisions, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I judge Jews by their baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Like the exact same way I judge a woman by who her baby daddies are. And so you, as a man, you have to be cognizant of the type of woman you going raw with or, making a major part of your life. I don't see how guys don't take that serious.
I think a lot of guys don't put a lot of emphasis on themselves, and that's the problem. Like a lot of these dudes don't put the work in for themselves. So like my man just said, like a guy at a certain status or somebody who got their stuff together, there's a lot of guys out here just don't have that, right? Their mindset is just not together at all. So there's only one way for them to gain any type of attention. They are trying to get glory by just talking to a bunch of women. They don't care what she stands for, who she is, where she's from, what she brings to the table, none of that. And then on top of that, they throw salt in the game and they don't have a personality, and they just try to use money or let me go get this bottle or this short.
But you know what? You see a lot. There's a lot that goes on in Miami, especially you go on Collins Ave. That's a prime location where they're doing a lot of that at.
100%. But that's where all the tourists are too. So when you're in Collins and you're on South Beach, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. People who live in Miami don't go to South Beach like that, right? So that already telling you what you're getting. Y'all fly into town, y'all go to South Beach, right? You're gonna be there with people from Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not getting the Miami experience. Then they go on charge up everything, charge you gratuity on top of not let you know and get the tip on top of it. They hitting y'all heads. Like that is not the place to be in Miami. There's a lot more to Miami than South Beach.
Yeah.
But you have folks that go down there from DC just to go get with a chick that's from Silver Springs, Maryland.
Exactly. That's
Hey,
exactly
that happened to me. That very thing happened to me down there, man. The very thing. Like, I had a lot of experience down in Miami, from Baltimore, actually. But hey,
yeah.
man, quick question: did you have anybody try to cock block you in the house while you was there?
You know what? The guys, well, we were pretty cool, to be honest. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was no shade at all
Really?
on the show between the guys. Like, I mean, of course, it's a competition, so they might bring you up on a date. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you talking 6'9" or whatever, or something like along those lines. Yeah, but that's all fun in love and war, you know. But I didn't have any shade from the guys. Like, I can pick up the phone and call every one of those dudes. Like, we still cool.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
So
But
I wanted to ask, like when you on a reality show, like do you still get the same experience like when you meet a chick randomly, like or can you tell if she's doing it for the cameras or doing it for the show or the storyline or whatever the case may be?
I would like to say that on my show, I can at least say that everyone there, for the most part, was really open to dating. Because if you watch my season, like we kind of got like emotionally involved on my season. So I can honestly say, and I felt like everyone was pretty much there for a reason. Like, yeah. So I think I had yeah, man. Like you're around the same people like every day, for long periods of time, and then
That's how a reality show is done.
yeah, man. Like you gotta think the average scene is 5 hours. So that's one scene. That might be one dating scene that's 5 hours. You know, but you're still trying to like get to know these people too. Like you can't just go out there and like, yeah, I'm gonna be on the show. I'm not really gonna date, you know, like no, you're gonna get eliminated really, really quick if you're not really taking the time to get into people. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you're talking to people for hours and hours and hours every day, morning, night. You know, all the time you're shooting scenes and everything. Like you're around these people for a couple months. It feels like you were around them for a couple years. You know, so yeah, for sure.
I get it. So,
Yeah.
So what is this like going on a reality show and looking for a potential woman, wife? I don't know what you was looking for. Like, how was that experience and what were you looking for? And did you find it?
I was open for sure. Like when I got on the show, I mean, I was single and I just moved to Miami too, so it was almost like perfect timing. It's like why not? So when I got on the show, I was definitely open to it for sure. I can't say I got out of it because I did grow to like, all right, you know what? Like I could see myself in a relationship. You know, I did get to that point, 100%, but you know, it didn't work out in the end. My show was up and down. I learned a lot from it. It was a microcosm of life. I tell everybody that it is fun to have multiple women until you get it. You know, like my man brought up the house. By the time I got to the house, I had 3 connections still. Like the men weren't worried about me; they felt bad for me. You know, like
yeah, it's tougher than what men actually think, because the men that can't do it, they want to do it, but it comes with different attitudes, different drama, different issues, all types of things that you're dealing with from multitude of women, you know, and it's not as easy as a lot of dudes think that it is. Yeah, it can be a headache, man. That's why when you get older, a man gets older and starts slowing down, he'd be like, man, I don't want to be bothered with all of this nonsense, because it's a lot to deal with when you're dealing with different women.
100%, especially when they like you. You know what I'm saying? Like when that. I said emotionally early, because like earlier in the show, it was just fun. You know, like every day is a different girl. We talking, I'm vibing, I'm dating. You know, I think I like her a lot. You know, and then by the time like the show, like get to the end of my show, oh man, I'm like, yo, this is a lot. Like I got 3 main women, and it's like it is toxic. It is crazy, right?
And they were beefing, right? Were they
beefing
because of that?
Did you have a lot of other, like, I know, like in high school, right? I heard you did such and such. Like he say, she say. I'm pretty sure what's going on. Did you have to lie about certain stuff? Like how does that work? Managing the the possibilities per se.
It changes over time. Like I didn't necessarily have to say like make up too many things because we all there for the same reason. We all are dating multiple people, right? We all are dating multiple people, but as it goes on, because like it's an elimination show. It's 14 episodes, so I did all 14. I made it all the way to the end. I was never eliminated. So like as the time went on, it became harder and harder as the emotions grew because it's just like now they, like he said, like are at each other's throats. And then stuff is leaking out. It's not supposed to leak out, but people know what's going on and things that happen on your days. So they trying to figure out what happened on your days. And so I'll ask you what happened on the days. Like, there's a lot that goes on with that. And it's just like, I think I got my first couple gray hairs from that show. and you can actually see my like temperament change. Like I was all laughing, joking in the beginning, and at the end I was just like, man, I don't.
I'm ready to go home.
I was mine to the eliminator right now. Go ahead and pull me up.
Hey,
wow, that's funny. That's wild.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's definitely been a good chopping it up with you, man. Before we go, can you let everybody know how they can reach you, how people from Miami can reach out to you if they need your fitness work, etc.?
And that goes for everybody. It's not just Miami. Miami, DC, East Coast, wherever you need me to be, California. You can go a couple different ways. You can reach out to me on Instagram or I guess Threads is the new one, and Twitter at King Randall 31. You can reach out to me at randysavagetrains@gmail.com. You can email me there or at randall.scott@equinox.com.
All right, man. Before we get up out of here, man, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get another episode knocked out. And Randall, man, we definitely appreciated you coming on the show and chopping it up with us, man. We really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you for having me. I appreciate all y'all.
All right, man. This has been another episode of the Hoe to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.